morning. We got Dom. We got
Office Dom is here.
We got Office Dom. We know the day is getting serious.
What's up?
You in the office. You always have a very efficient
Yes,
day.
sir. How are you doing, buddy?
Good morning, Jason.
Happy first day of school.
First day of school. It's Tuesday.
Morning, Jason.
What's going on? What's happening in Colorado? Why are we not in school so much?
I'll tell you what's happening. Should be a snow day today. And there was no email. No email at 5:30 waking me up saying there was a snow day, even though it's the first day back. And I don't like being online. You never want to skip a school day.
Wow.
How much snow is there?
Enough that I might decide to not go driving for simple tasks in town.
Oh, okay. Got it. What would be a simple task that you need to get done that would be okay not to do today?
Getting bread and eggs. Because if we don't get bread and eggs, what else do you do on a snow day?
That's right. Dom, what do we use bread and eggs for all the time? Why are we doing bread and eggs all the time?
Bread and eggs?
Dom's in California. So, Dom, the joke is that whenever, at least in the Northeast, whenever there is, and like, I guess, Central America, well, Central USA, whenever there is a snowstorm or some kind of storm, stores run out of bread and eggs because everyone feels like you got to go out and get bread and eggs. Now, it's funny because it's like, do we even eat that much bread and that many eggs? Look at that. All you got to do is get Blaze on. Blaze can be your chauffeur. He looks like he is ready to take on the storm right now.
Blaze is dressed for the weather here today.
20 degrees here in Rochester, New York.
We got 20 degrees here this morning, too. We match. Temperature matches.
You're also at 20 degrees.
Some might say we're temperature twins.
Sorry, guys. I haven't checked the weather. We don't do that here in California. So
Oh.
I'm trying to look online right now. It says 51.
51's a boring temperature. That's like
It's so hot.
between,
It's so like,
what
what do you do? Do you go outside?
Well, yesterday was a beach day. I was checking in with my client who lives in Chicago, and then she has a home out here, and that's how I know her. And she was like, I'm supposed to go home tomorrow, but it's 2 degrees in Chicago and it's a beach day here in Manhattan. And I'm like, yeah, can we go inside your house? I'm sweating standing in the sun.
I think we need we need to separate, like, break off where, like, Dom does like a live show with people with favorable weather. I don't want to bring you down.
No, this is all appreciation and gratitude coming out of me right here.
I'll take it.
I feel like I would miss seasons. Is that what we say when we could live somewhere a little bit nicer? I would miss
what you
the
tell
season.
yourself.
Yeah, I know. Although I think I would. I did live in South Carolina for 4 years, and I did miss the seasons because in South Carolina it would get like cold, but just like dismal because like the grass would die, some of the trees that had leaves on them because it was mainly like evergreen trees down there, but like some you would lose it. But then it was just like well, let's just do something. I don't know. Anyway, boys, who did the reading today? Where are we at? What are we learning about today? Are we learning about what we are supposed to?
What we're supposed to show our kids, what habits, kind of a return back to what habits our kids see us doing.
Morality.
Yes. All right, guys. What was the last time that we had a do as I say, not as I do moment? What have you caught yourself doing that you're like, don't do this? What was the last thing that you guys did?
Damila's new gloves and she needed the tags off them, and I couldn't find the scissors quickly, so I took like from like the kitchen drawer and just like ripped it with the knife. And I think I'd be fine with my kids doing that like in adulthood, but now I just see them like poking their eye out or something like that, so probably that.
That's a good one. That's a good one. How about you guys? Anything else?
I'm trying to think of something besides telling them to get off the iPad when I need to be on my device.
That's a good one.
That's my go-to. How about energy drinks? Do we see our kids drinking energy drinks and then we say, don't drink energy drinks, and then we're drinking energy drinks?
Am I being attacked now?
I just
is that a Celsius? I'm addicted to those currently. I'm having one after this coffee.
Wait, Blaze just asked if your kids drink energy drinks. Do you guys, because like, isn't Prime a thing? Like Prime, do your kids drink
my
it?
kids will have a Prime on occasion. But no, they haven't gotten into energy drinks. They're actually more into, I think they're going their mom's route, and they're going more into like the fancy Starbucks drinks. Mostly it's just Bailey, because she's 16, so she's kind of getting closer to that age where it's more common for her to have caffeine. But Brooklyn, she doesn't do caffeine. We don't let her, and she actually doesn't like it. Like when she accidentally gets one with caffeine, she doesn't like the taste of that. Bailey's okay with it. But other than that, like Bailey is my water drinker. Like the only other thing she really drinks is water. And Brooklyn's the one who dabbles in like soda and stuff like that, so she's taken those kind of things from us.
Sure.
We have a good water habit, to the point where it's sometimes annoying. Like we'll go out, and it won't even be hot. Like it'll even be winter. It'll be snowing like today. And like we'll go up to the rec center. We went up to the rec center a few days ago. And a few days ago, that was like 3 weeks ago now. And it like we probably weren't going to go for a long time, maybe 45 minutes. And we all were in the car pulling out, and my middleest kid said, "Wait, I forgot my water." So they all got out and went and got like the biggest water bottle, which is, I'm not going to say no, but maybe it was just the timing. But yeah, water, we have like tons of water. We were drowning in water bottles.
I recently heard someone talk about a water bottle that adults are walking around just like they have a baba, and it really hit me. And I was like, yeah, we are. We're all walking around like we feel like we need this water bottle, where we survived just fine without them this whole time until what? I don't know, 7 years ago, we all started to need one to like actually carry them around. Like you need a water bottle, but like you will survive, right? And
I blame Nalgene.
I was gonna say Nalgene first. You stole my, because that's the first I remember is being in school, and I never had an Nalgene bottle, and all the cool kids had these like, and the whole thing of it was like, it's indestructible. You'll never break your Nalgene bottle.
And you can put stickers on it.
Yeah.
Wait, so do we hate Nalgene, or are we okay with Nalgene?
Are they still around?
I have an Nalgene.
Our Nalgene bottle is still around. They are indestructible.
I broke one. We had one at the job site one time when we were putting together this retaining wall, and it was our goal by the end of the day to break it, and we finally broke it by throwing these like 17-pound blocks on top of it. We got paid for doing that. It was pretty amazing.
Is this where you stole the keys of the bulldozer?
Oh God, when was that? Forget where that was. I think that was in Michigan somewhere.
I thought that was college. Wasn't that
Also
part of your college kickout story?
No, I got so many stories.
Damn, these guys are after you. Trying to get you to put your stories live.
What did David say over here? Gosh, moments. I kind of work from the construct of do as I do and not as I say. I have no filter. Blew my mind. Hold on a second. Do as I do and not as I say. So we're just leading by example. That's what we're saying here, David.
Stoic AF. Yeah, I would love to operate from that for sure. Don't always do it. I'd say the time, here's like what because I don't want to like constantly tell the kids to do what I do. What I hope is that they notice the things that we do. Like me and Kristen are fairly active, like working out. And that's what I hope the kids someday realize. Oh, mom and dad are doing this like most of the time. We should do this too. Things like that. Or like I'm good at experimenting with recipes. I'm really happy with like my recipe. That's like, I'm really proud of my cooking this past year. That's something that I hope they pick up. If we're in the car, I don't answer the phone. In fact, I'll ask Kira to like look up directions or send texts instead. When I'm on top of things.
Yeah, I like it. Is there anything else you guys are doing? Who else is doing something? What is like the I guess like what's that one value you think you guys want to model better for your kids? I'm trying to think of it right now because I'm perfect, so it's really hard to find something. But I want
them to do as Jason does. So I'm just gonna start live streaming Jason's life to my children. And Blaze's style.
My wife always says I need to be more cleanly, and the examples that she gives is like shutting the cupboards and shutting like closed drawers and stuff like that. Like I don't leave the refrigerator open
Because it beeps.
I'm trying to be more like after I'm done with something, pick it up right away. I just operate at such a fast clip that's not always at the forefront of my mind. It's always like what's next. So I think that's one thing that I'd like to instill in my kids a little bit more, so I'm not picking up their shit all the time.
Do you think that there's some value in continuing to do what you need to do the way that you got to do it, but kind of let them know what should be done instead? Like my mind goes right back to when I was younger working in restaurants, and then someone would be like, hey, can you train this person? And I'd train this person, but it was like one of those, like, I'm going to show you everything you shouldn't do, but you're going to end up doing it once you start working on your own. But like, these are the things I have to teach you that like, you just have to know that you're doing it wrong. You guys ever had that situation?
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, that's what I can think of, like 100 things in nursing. I remember there's one, like, she's like, don't do this. And like, I'm pretty sure she used to like use her teeth a lot to like open things. And if you're, probably not the best thing to be doing in a hospital. This is a long time ago, and hospital, so it's not active anymore. But
it didn't have the Blaze. I was thinking recently. Tell me if this statement lands well or not. That nurses are the blue collar workers of the medical field.
Oh yeah, but it's frustrating because I agree with that. But then from the other perspective, they want us to get advanced degrees and do research, write papers. And that's where it really starts to get cloudy, because it's like, okay, am I an academic or am I, at the front line? And I think it's a really blurred place, because then it's like, there's a lot of places now where it's like, you need an advanced degree, you need an advanced degree, you need an advanced degree. And then it's like, do I really need an advanced degree? And then there's legislation where like some people can do this and some people can't, and it gets varied from state to state. So, but I think that's why a lot of hospitals have unionized. And I'm not saying I'm pro-union or anti-union, make the decision for yourself. And if you ever want my opinion, I'm happy to get in a one-on-one conversation with somebody. But I think that's why a lot of those things happen, is because you can't be asked to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, and then expect all those things to be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, the best nurses I ever knew, were the ones that really didn't follow, I would say, all the guidelines. They just knew how to kind of break through the challenges in the best way, the most efficient way possible. And I feel like that's kind of how like parenting is too. But maybe we can teach our kids less about like this is like you have to do it this way, and more about I think when we speak in absolutes, I think that's where my mind can't talk. My mind is like, when you're driving, you're never on your phone. Well, what happens if? What happens when? And I feel like that's where we can kind of make kids a little bit more flexible. I have a hard time thinking this way. When it comes to some things in, I know like my relationship with like Lauren, sometimes like we'll talk about like, well, this, like you come home and your shoes are going to go away. And I'm like, I get it. And sometimes I'll leave my shoes out, but my shoes are out because I know that I'm going to have to go back out in 2 minutes. And if I put them away, I'm going to be less likely to go out and get that done. And so it's like, there are going to be exceptions to rules to make sure that the day can kind of move forward. And I think that that is a better lesson for our kids than about like what has to happen. But maybe there's a better thing for, the kid's mind, where maybe a kid does have to know these very, strict boundaries and straightforward guidelines. But I feel like that like flexibility in thinking has to be there too. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah,
I get where you're going.
but some things are black and white, and I think that's like, I really like you're having this conversation because it digs deep into what are absolutes we need to teach our children, and what are other things that you can, like, you know what, it's okay if you don't do that perfect every time.
It's making me think of like the layering, and I'm going to come back to Inside Out 2, where the first movie was very much about like, it's, there's 4 emotions and that's all it is. And when you feel this emotion, it's that character. And then the second movie, spoilers, there's going to be, these different emotions that are now combined. And so now there's going to be a lot more nuance, and there's a lot more, we have to make decisions. I guess it's just adulting. But I guess when, like, do we inject this into their childhood earlier or later, or how do we have it? Because the one thing, hold on, sorry to go off. The one thing I want to always teach my girls is speak up if I tell you to do something and you end up having a good enough reason to not do it or to do it differently, let me know. And I think the way we communicate in that moment's important, but I never want them to just be just follow everything an adult tells you to do. Like, there should be some sort of constructive criticism in your head to kind of think through it. And then maybe like, what's a different scenario? Do you guys accept your kids not talking back, but giving you criticism? Sounds bad. I think you know where I'm going with this though. Do you guys accept that?
Minus the criticism, this whole topic, it's actually something I do more in my classroom with students. In my room, there's tons of ways to do something. I will show them one. Sometimes I'll show them the best way. Like, for example, I have a ceramics class. There's tons of ways to build with your hands, right? And I will show them the way that I think is correct. Sometimes I'll show them something that works for me, but I'll always be clear that it's never the only way to do it. And that happens multiple times a day, whether it's it's mostly developing ideas. That's the big challenge for kids, is like doing that with fidelity and like making plans and realizing that your first plan might not be the best plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I do try to model that. Like, if I make a mistake, I want them to see it, or I want them to see me struggle. I also want my kids to see me struggle too. So like, it's not always the things that go right, and it's not always like the best habits that I want my kids to see. Sometimes, and maybe it's after the fact that I make this realization, sometimes I want them to see what dad does or what mom does when they mess up or make a mistake.
I agree with that. I would take this into, I think it's more important for your kids to see the mistake, but even more important than that is to see the resolution, right? It's the same thing as like parents fighting in front of their kids isn't as much of a problem as no resolution to the fight, right?
Yeah, or see them apologize, or
What's the resolution?
how many times do your kids see you maybe admit that you were wrong,
Mm-hmm.
instead of sticking to your guns when you're doing it more out of pride rather than correcting whatever mistake you made.
Yeah. Blaze, what are your kids? What are we teaching our kids on your end?
Do you still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. What was the question again? What am I teaching about in regards to what?
Is there anything that you're trying to kind of make sure that your kids understand and dumb too? Is there anything that you've been kind of pushing your kids or making sure that you don't do?
I think like probably the most important thing to my kids right now is that they have friends to hang out with and they also know how to be a good friend. And so I think that's like something that's really important to me. So I'm always like trying to make sure they're like doing activities and scheduling play dates and all those types of things. And from the other perspective, you know, like they need to see me interacting with friends. So I had our like token Brave Bison come over the other day and hang out. Bad news is I owed him some stuff and I tried to give it to him and he left it at my house. And then my 3-year-old, I found out, just like tore up like 5 rare V-Friends cards. So I'm not very thrilled with him right now.
Ooh.
But yeah. So
What do you need? I can help you out if you need to replace anything.
We'll connect. It's like it was like a wise wasp, a rare wise. Can't even say it. Never mind. It just a slain slug. It was like 5 rare cards that he paid like $100 for. So,
Ouch.
but regardless, I'll take care of it. It's okay. But what I do want to say is, actually, no. I want to say one more thing. My kids are assholes. Every single mini that's the slain slug, they pick his eyeballs off. So I was also trying to deliver him a sparkly slain slug, and they picked all the eyeballs off. But friendship is really important, and they need to see me interacting with friends as well. That's why I love V-Friends and the X communities as well, because if I'm going on vacation, I can be like, hey, who's here? Let's hang out. And I think that's one of the cool, like, IRL benefits of, like, being active online is, like, building this, like, not a local community, but a worldwide community.
I agree with that. And it's something that I didn't realize until recently, like especially with Christmas cards. Like Dom, I got your Christmas card, and Lauren's like, "Well, who is this?" And she didn't know who it was until I said it was Dom. And then she's like, "Oh, well, where does he live?" And I was like, "Oh, Southern California." It is really cool. I feel that, Blaze, that I could probably travel to most states and find someone in the V-Friends community, which I think is a great way to teach our kids all about how. Because we like tell our kids, like, Blaze, you just said it. We have to teach our kids how to be good friends. Not all parents are going to be that extroverted to have moments to teach their kids how to be good friends, right?
That's something specific to this. Is kids are usually asleep, but I hope at some point whenever they meander around the house that they see what we do, and also hear what we talk about.
Dom, I feel like you're so heavy into this stuff sometimes. Like I think we've seen your list for 2025 to be doing every single day. It's a lot and it's impressive. Are your kids seeing you work yourself through those things?
Some of it, yeah. And I posted on Instagram, and my girls are connected to Instagram, so they see that stuff. I tell them about I've been starting to mention the daily dad call that I do every morning or most mornings. So we're getting there. We're getting there. That's part of my goal for 2025, if you will, is to be like more out there and let them know what's going on, because I feel like because I do everything so early in the morning or here away at the office, they don't know. So how can they, take after my good habits if they're not seeing those good habits and all they see is, dad who might be a little short at times when we're at home, or a little sarcastic or a little mean. That part of me that they pick up on. I'm not always that when I'm home, but yeah. So that's there. I'm getting there. I'm putting it out there.
Okay. I like it. I want that for you. How is the garage gym?
Oh, I didn't get to it this weekend. I mean, I hung the bins on the ceiling, but I didn't get to actually doing the reorganization. So this weekend we'll hit it hard Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and try to get it as clear as we can. And then, like I told you, we probably need to recover like a month or two for funds until these two new jobs start up, and then we can start getting our hands on some equipment. So I'll be asking you guys when the time is right of like the stuff that we have in mind, and the kind of best ways to do it in an affordable way. I think the only thing my wife wants to spend money on is a treadmill.
Yeah.
The rest of it we're gonna try to get for as little cost as possible.
You can do it. These days on like Facebook Marketplace,
Yeah.
these things are crazy. Lauren, I was coming back from the food store and Lauren was like, "Hey, do you think you can swing around and just pick up this whole?" She got this gymnastics like double bar. It's huge. And she's like, "I think I made a mistake." And I was like, "Yeah, I think you did too." It's like sitting on our balcony right now. It's like, how did you think it was going to fit in our house? So, like 800 square feet. It's not going to happen. Guys, who is feeling most inspiring this morning?
Not
I'm
me.
feeling. You go, please.
No, I said not me. I'm not
Oh.
feeling inspiring. I'm
All right.
inspired. I just don't feel inspiring.
Lace is
Who
trying
is
to
it?
figure out how to feed slain slug eyeballs to his kids creatively. Put them in cookies, dude.
Who's eating minis for dinner? I gotta roll into this meeting,
I'm
guys.
feeling.
But love you.
Go for it.
I'm feeling fairly inspiring because
for
I
it.
feel like I have to.
Give an
First day of
inspiring
school, man.
message. Go. Oh, wait. Hold on. I can't. How do I do this? Where is this? Jason. Oh, my God. I messed up. We
What are
got
you doing?
Couch on Dom. I don't even know anymore.
I'm not inspired anymore.
There it is. I did it. Jason, give us an inspiring message. You're on the couch.
This is unfair. I said I'm going to be feeling inspiring. I didn't say I'm feeling inspiring right now.
You're on the couch. Don't waste your time on the couch.
You can make anything with the crappiest of tools. What are you going to make today?
I like it. That was great.
And what tools are you going to use to do that?
See? It wasn't that hard, was it?
Probably could have rehearsed that a bit.
Jason's couch moment. And then we'll have another couch moment tomorrow. I have to use these overlays. I made them, guys. All right. Anyway, top of the hour, guys. We love you so much. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And guys, let's think of that. Let's think of that couch statement, couch question, the community couch. It's here. We want to be able to answer questions and help you guys out. Anyway. All right, dudes. Have a great morning.
And on that. Okay, here we go. What are you going to add to the world today? What positivity are you going to bring to the world around you and those that you?
It's 9:01. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
See you again.